I'm one of these people who is very good at writing everything down. So if I feel overwhelmed, one of the first ideas that will pop in my head is get it all out of my head, put it onto paper. And so that's not so much of a problem. The challenge is getting it from being on a piece of paper or being in a notebook to actually getting it done. And that's where things weren't quite working. So and I got myself into this silly old habit of thinking that was enough. Right, I'm overwhelmed, get it down on paper, and then realizing maybe a week or so later you're still overwhelmed. What's going on? So one of the things that you said quite early on in the course was, having all your to-dos down is one thing, but it's actually making sure that you've got the time and the space to do it as well. That's sort of one half of it. So I was getting one half of it right, but I was missing that second half, if you like.
Yeah.
And when you say impact, it was having, because I have a daughter, so there's a particular time every day where I have to just, down tools and off I go. And what I was doing was, getting in the car and driving along and thinking, I didn't do that. And it stopped me from getting on with the rest of the day. It sort of felt like a bit of a hangover still there, and then get to the next day and then I'd be playing catch up. So all of that going on. I'm a right one for having I'll be focusing on a task and then my head will be like little light bulbs going do this, you need to do that, and you need to do that, and even sometimes ideas popping in my head. And what you helped me see was that's not a problem. That that is actually part of who I am. I am always got ideas running around. I think it's part of being an entrepreneur as well, isn't it? But what I would have done previously is I would have put those tasks on today's to-do list, and not really, just because I wanted to get it down on paper, but not really had the right amount of time or the headspace to focus on it. It just went on today's to-do list. And what you taught me through this system was honor those things, but they don't have to go, put them in the right place to do at the right time. So I could choose to put them on today's to-do list, or I could choose to put them on this week or this month, or even within 6 months. And what I realized is that these things don't have to overwhelm me, but also I don't have to overlook them as well. Because sometimes I'd get ideas, put them down, and they'd just go on today's to-do list, wouldn't get done, and then they'd be forgotten about. And I'd be like, well, what happened to that? So I think that's the main thing for me, is that everything has a place now on my to-do list. And sometimes I think it was a bit, at first I was like, oh, but what if it doesn't get done for 3 months? Well, that's fine. It's better than not doing it at all or forgetting about it. So that was really revolutionary to me. Today, as we record this conversation, this is the first day back before lockdown. So it's been quite a few months that I've actually sat at my desk and done a full day's work without my daughter around and so forth. Now, I was reflecting on this, and I thought previously, before we'd gone through your system, I would have probably spent most of the day going, what am I doing? Just unfocused and not really get much done, possibly even a write-off. However, I got straight back into it. I knew what I was doing. It managed me. I really didn't have to make too many decisions. I didn't have to think too much. I just had to look at my list, and I got through 9 tasks today, which is exactly what I wanted to get done. Tick, tick, and I feel good. I can leave, here today, and I will be in the moment, if you like, because I'm not still thinking about the day. And that's a big deal, actually, to think about that. I think I said to you this to you during the course. One of the nicest things about this is being able to climb into your head and see things the way you do, because that's what I needed to do. I really needed to take a fresh look at how I do get things done. It was a no-brainer to me to do this. I knew I would get something good out of it. I don't think I realized how how good it would be, and the fact that I'm still doing it 6 months later. You know how sometimes you can do courses and they're great, and then for some reason you slip off, you fall out of the habit. That didn't happen, and I think that's because you said quite a bit, I want this, you know, this is a work in progress. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to work it out straight away, you know, play with it. And that's what I really appreciate, is that you set the foundations in place, but there's room to personalize it as well. If any of what we've chatted about today resonates for you, you've got to give it a go. What I love about the way the course goes, and we said this at the time as well, is that you take us you take us by the hand and you take us step by step through it. And there were moments where I was like, no, I'm ready for the next bit now. And you're like, no, we're going to go really slowly, because I want to make sure this really, you know, you consolidate each step. And I'm so pleased that it worked like that, because I think that's why I'm still doing it to this day. So yeah, if anyone's watching this and has been feeling that they need a system, or they are getting to the end of the day and not getting stuff done, or just feeling, you know, that feeling that you get when you're not at your desk, but you think about what you've got to do, you can either feel really relaxed and like, you know, in control and quite calm about it, or you can feel, you know, and I love that feeling now. Like when I'm, you know, maybe just doing something outside of work and I think about my work and I think, yeah, it's all in hand. It's all good. And then that can switch off that and you get back on with the day. So I think my advice would be just go for it.
Oh,